We offer the best grooming products for you. Yes, all natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be your swagger, your style, class, and luxury. Make our products tailor-made for you with high quality. Yeah, so get in style with the Black Grooming Company. To give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah. The Black Gentleman Black, yeah. Company. To give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo. What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Nerds on Culture with Stormybman for this Monday, September 23rd, 2024. And this is episode number 100 in our series of Nerds shows. So it's a milestone episode in which we're going to do a bit of reflection about what we've done thus far with this show. I want to welcome everybody that's out there, those who have recently taken part in the experience of Nerds on Culture, those who have been there from its inception, and just know that we do this show to try to tap into our remembrance of what we hold near and dear to ourselves as far as our culture, whether it's books, movies, television shows, graphic novels, cartoons, toys, arts and crafts. It doesn't really matter. It's just that long as it's a part of our cohesive experience, things that keep us connected to life itself, that we partake in and that we enjoy. And we've had quite a wonderful time producing this show, bringing it to you. And we look forward to these Mondays where we can sit down and just talk and review and do whatever the subject takes us, do with it what we can, and just understand that this is really an original show of sorts. There's nobody out there doing what we do when we do this. There could be knockoffs, there could be imitations and things of that nature, but just understand that when we put this together, we put it together for the very reasons of which I speak. And that's coming from the soul, man. And you can't create another soul. You know what I mean? You can have a different soul that you run across, but you can't recreate. So just know that that's what this experience is all about. So, you know, with no further ado, because I've been using us in the plural, because I do this show with my brother, Drew Titan, out here, who's with me this evening. And we're going to talk about this show, why we do it, what we've enjoyed up to this point, and how we intend to keep knocking it out of the park for you all. And mind you, if you are new to this show and say you caught the last few shows and like, oh, I kind of like that or whatever, please, while it's still available, go into the archives and look back at what we've done up to this point, because you're going to find some gems in there, man. We've done some really fun stuff with this show. But welcome, Drew. How you doing this evening, brother?
You said it well, man. I look forward to Mondays, man. The nostalgia, man. When you hit me up during the week and you say, okay, man, listen, we thinking about doing this, man. You know what we do majority on, on social media is really the boxing things, but honestly, it gets exhausting, and you're supposed to kick your feet up and have intelligent discussions, but boxing, it's like the fan base has gone backwards. So when we do these shows on Monday, I do here what I'm supposed to be doing, talking boxing, just kicking your feet up and just, chewing the fat and just talking boxing, but can't do that there. So when I come here, it's fun discussions. I feel like, you remember those conversations in school at the lunch table, the next movie coming out, who got the next comic book, what if a DC character for the Marvel character? And, I mean, that's the kind of fun we have here, man. I miss that. When you wasn't paying no bills and you didn't have a care in the world. Your only job was to get up and get to school on time and do your homework. Your parents took care of the rest, So when we do these shows, it's like, I look forward to Mondays. It's like, what are we going to talk about today? And we talk about everything here, from movies to cartoons to food. Love to remember the food show?
The food show, man. And
brother, when you talked about it, isn't there certain foods? Now, I know y'all in the chat, you could think of certain foods. Doesn't it remind you of your childhood a little bit? Like, oh man, I used to eat that, and you love it. Even some of the food that you hated growing up, as an adult, doesn't it hit you like, yo, I kind of missed that.
Listen, one of my favorite episodes, and I don't know if I'll be able to dig that one up right away because I've already queued up something, but maybe I can punch in the show where we talked about drive-in treats.
Yes,
and treats, right? And we were talking, and you told the story of your dad coming back to the car. Dude, that's like one of my favorites. And I remember that episode, and I remember you telling that story. It was so funny because even though you were telling it from you and your brother's experience, it's like I was there, because I could relate totally to what happened. Dude, that was a hell of a time.
Oh, man. I said, you ain't gonna. My brother was like, don't. I didn't care what was on the floor. I want him to go back.
Dude, I still got tears coming out my eyes right now thinking about that, man. It was so funny, bro. It was so funny. And you know what? That's what this show is about. Because when we do these shows, we don't even know when we hit the live what the reactions to what we're going to talk about are going to be. We just know that we're excited to get into it. And then it just goes on from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah. In fact, go ahead and continue to voice your thoughts on where we've come with this. I'm going to try to dig that episode up right quick.
Yeah, please, man. That was funny. Well, first and foremost, 100 episodes, man. And we missed a couple of weeks too.
Yeah.
And it don't even feel like it, man. It doesn't, man. And you understand, when you really love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like work. And I got to tell you something, y'all. For those of you, and salute Reef. I follow Reef on Rumble. He be cooking. This is fun, but you have to be creative in doing things like this. But when it comes from the heart, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like work. I got to go back to the boxing thing. Sometimes I get before I go to bed, I don't know what I'm talking about tomorrow, and I really don't care. That's where I am with that. But with this, that's why, I'm bringing back, I'm doing some things. I'm working on Bear Cave. I got an overhaul going on over there. But I can do Bear Cave off the top of my head. I can do this show off the top of my head. No rehearsal. Because we're talking about things we actually lived through. We talked about break dancing.
Yes, sir. That was a great show.
All right. You know what else I wanted you to write down? When discos converted into clubs, because the name changed. The disco era, and it turned into clubs. The names of it changed. The music changed. There was no more disco. It became house music. That's a whole thing right there. And shout out to Chicago, because house music started in Chicago.
Yes, sir.
And they hit big in New York. You know what I'm saying? So these things come from the heart. And this is the show where you can just sit down and just kick your feet up. And a lot of y'all could be like, oh man, I remember that. And some of you that are a little younger, you'll be like, man, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Rotary phones, what's that?
Yeah, right.
Oh, salute, General. Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah, we nerds on top of nerds up here. Yes, sir. Man, that's funny, man. That's funny, man. We did some great shows, man. And we got some follow-ups that we're going to do soon.
Right, because we have part 2s that we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
Part 2s. And see, that's what I said, that helps extend the content, because we can't cover everything in the time frame of what we do. But to be able to come back and revisit it's just great to be able to do this. And salute to 78 that's saying that, you know, it takes real men to admit to being nerds. You know, it's true, you know, because often that was thought of as something negative, you know.
Yeah.
And we haven't cared one iota about that. We just come in here and we talk about what we talk about, and we just hit it, you know. I'm still looking. I'm still looking for that.
We there's no shame in
That
being
was a drive-in show that we did, right?
It was a drive-in. Yeah, the drive-in movie theater show. And I think in that episode we also talked about the food in the movie theaters.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Man, I could. Yo, if y'all got a minute, put in your favorite like food that you like to eat when you go inside the theater. Beyond popcorn. Popcorn is everything, you know. I remember, yo, listen, y'all do know that nachos, they didn't start selling that in the theaters until, I want to say probably the late 80s. Late 80s, you know. That's still new to me. Now there's certain movie theaters, there's a spot in Yonkers where they come and ask you what kind of food you want. They bring it to, it's like when you sit down, it's like a long table. You know what I mean? And they bring it to you. Nachos, yeah, everyone, yeah. I go with my family, my wife, kids, they love the nachos, man. They love the nachos. I like the popcorn, but here's a little hack. They sell the butter, the powdered butter, right? That oil that you put on there, that's not really butter, y'all. That's really like just oil. So here's what you do. Take the oil, put it on there, but go to the supermarket and get yourself that little butter, the powdered butter, and they have flavors in it. You can just take it to the theater with you, just dump it on it, put the oil on there so the powder sticks.
Yep.
I get the popcorn with my own butter, and I like a fruit punch or a pink lemonade. And that's what, you know, when I went to see Avengers, the first Avengers, tag, I was fat that day, man. I had the whole tub of popcorn to myself, and I had a big old drink. Yep. See, extra butter, popcorn, nachos, pizza, hot dogs, got goobers. Yep. Yo, you know what? Goobers is dope, but you know what? Man, here's where I knew I had a problem. When I first had a Welch's fruit snack. Now I know why all the jokes are when, you know, dudes be going to the shorty's house and they eat up all they eat up their kids' fruit snacks. I was like, why is that so funny? The first time I had a fruit snack, I said, oh, I get it now. It's crack, man. Oh my God, man. The Welch's fruit snacks. I wasn't like a gummy bear person, but whenever you smell popcorn, you think of the theater, man. But if y'all don't remember the story, I'm gonna tell y'all the story, bro. This was I want to say like 82 or 83. There was a drive-in theater in the Bronx, right? So we go in there, and the concession stand was like, the hack was you had to park close to it, right? So my dad says, okay, what do y'all want from the concession stand? We was like, you know, I forgot, right? My brother wanted whatever. So whatever it was, popcorn was on the list, right? So I'm sitting in the car and I'm watching my dad walk from the concession stand back to the car. And he had a big old Cadillac, right? Now the grounds is gravel. There's gravel, right? So he had drinks, he had a tub of popcorn, I think he had a pizza, and he's walking and he can't see over the popcorn. My pops gets like maybe 2 feet to the car. And all I heard All I heard was, whoa. And he hit the driver's door. It was like, poof. Yo, popcorn. He smashed the drinks. It's more done. My brother's looking. I'm looking over my brother. My pops backs up. He had the snacks on his shirt. Everything's on the floor. He stood up there like Superman looking over. He looks at it. He opens the door, sits down in the car, and slams the door and folds his arms. I'm looking at the snacks. I'm trying, because for a split second, I'm like, oh, I can save it. I was like, nah. So when he sat down, I looked at my pops and I almost said, you're not going to go back? My brother, like, smacked me like, shut up. This man will kill us. He will shoot us. He has a gun. I was like, oh, man. And I was in the back seat. And what was crazy is my pops was in the front seat with his arms folded, watching the movie. And I'm in the back seat with my arms folded, just like him, pouting because I ain't got no popcorn. But he must, yo, every time I talk to my brother about that, yo, he laughs so hard, he has tears coming down his eyes, bro. He said, because he remembers it.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, that was funny, man. That was funny. Oh, my God, man. I'll never forget that. He almost made it. He got 2 feet in front of the car and busted his ass. I was like, you're not gonna... He was like, shut up. Oh. My brother understood. My brother's 5 years older than me. That was funny, man. That was funny. And you know what? I gotta ask my brother. I don't remember what we were seeing that night. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But that was dangerous, man, because there was 2 screens and people would slow down the traffic and park along the side of the Cross Bronx Expressway. It was completely unsafe. Completely unsafe. And that's elevated. It's elevated. That highway's elevated. It's crazy, man. You fall off of that, it's like a 200-foot drop. It's crazy. People used to line up. Oh, man, that was bad. I remember when they first aired the first Conan on that screen. One of the screens was facing into a neighborhood, and the people complaining there was nudity. You know, so they was like, yo, we don't want the kids looking at, boobs on the big screen. So they put it on the other screen facing the highway. It didn't help matters. So then when they tore that down, there it is.
Here we go.
They tore it down and they made it a multiplex cinema called Whitestone, and now that's gone. But yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah,
What we gotta say, fair use for this?
It's our own material.
Yeah,
Yeah, fair use.
Fair use.
Own material. We gotta say fair use to our own material. Because this is what they do in the series of Nerds on Culture, and we are here to talk about popcorn and snacks at the movie theaters.
Yeah.
Drive-ins for this Monday, June 5th, 2023.
wow.
And we hope that you are here to enjoy this with us and reminisce and take the time out to acknowledge what's so great about a salute to the general out there in that cash out. Appreciate you, brother. Afternoon out at the theater. Yeah, y'all cooking. Particularly the drive-in. We're going to talk about that a little bit because we kind of got it kicked off a bit last week when we talked about some things, and we thought we would just kind of channel that on in to today or to tonight's show, and allow me to introduce my partner in crime in the show. We got my brother Drew Titan in the building this evening. What's good, man? What's good?
Come on, man. I'm a fat boy tonight. I'm a fat boy tonight.
I'm a fat boy every day. And you know what? I ain't ashamed because, it's true.
Oh, that's a good one. Uptown
Let's go.
Saturday night,
Man.
man. Let's do it again.
Snacks. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to talk about some snacks.
What is it about walking into the theater, or if you're at the drive-in, you walk into the concession area, and
Oh,
that
waffle
scent
fries.
of the greasy food that's cooking in there. The
Wait, you know what?
popcorn.
None of it is good for you. Let me tell you something. If you're a health nut, like, just don't plan on eating. But you know something? I can't name a movie that I actually paid money to go see. You ever paid money to see a real bad film? And it's like, man, this movie sucked. Well, at least you enjoyed the popcorn.
Yes. Yes.
At least you enjoyed
Yes.
the damn popcorn.
Or whatever it was that you decided to spend your money on for a snack, right?
Yeah.
Because
it made it
it's
worth
like,
a while.
well,
It made it
man,
worth a
listen.
while.
let me say this, opening up the show, I can't help but think about what you shared with us last week about your dad. And, you know, and I'm not here to make fun of it, but it was such a hilarious thing, you know, because I could imagine how he felt. You know, when you said he just sat there with his
He just sat there. He was in the front seat, man. I gotta retell the story.
and see here we are a year later from that
It's funny,
show.
dog.
It was still funny, you know.
Memorial Day, went to the house. We had a barbecue. And I brought it up. And he said, man, you remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. No, not Memorial Day. I spoke to him, I think that Tuesday. And he said, man, you remember that? I said, yeah. He said, kid, you was like maybe about 6 or 7 years old or something like that. And I said, those are those pivotal moments. I remember the drive-in. I remember everything we used to do as a family.
Yeah.
I got to share the story again. We go to the drive-in. There was a drive-in theater in the Bronx a long time ago. And we drove in. I don't even remember what we were going to see. And to be very honest with you, the only movie I clearly remember going to see at the drive-in was Conan the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian. See, I just said, hey?
And that was, I believe that was the last one I saw. So we get there, we park, and I remember him asking my brother or somebody, you know, which I want, whatever. But, you know, I'm a kid. I didn't care. I really went because of the atmosphere and the snacks. It was something to do at night. It was the weekend night or whatever. I remember the weather was fairly nice. So we had that big old, it looked like it was metal, the speaker hanging on to the window. He goes to the concession stand. And I remember the concession stand was like a circle. You go there, and it was a long ass line, and there was people dressed up in pinstripes with the little taco hats on, and you would get your popcorn, and they had pizza, and they had you know, the candy there, and I'm missing something, forgetting something else. So it was another hot thing that they had. Anyway, he was coming back to the car with 3 sodas, a tub of popcorn, and some candy. It may have been a hot dog, right? He's walking back to the car. He gets like a foot in front of the car. And if you ever been to a drive-in, the ground is gravel.
Yep.
It's all gravel. It's not a pavement. It's gravel. All I remember was him shouting, "Whoa!" And he smashed against the fucking door of the car. Popcorn fell into the car. He smashed everything. The sodas fell. My brother was looking like this, and I'm watching him. And my father, he tried to save what he could, but then the bucket of popcorn, it was crushed. It was crushed. He held it up. He looked at it, and he threw the shit on the floor.
Threw the shit on the floor.
God damn it. And he opened the door, and before he sat down, he turned around aggressively, and he looked at the ground. He turned around, and he looked at the ground aggressively, like He did like you set up. It looked like you press fast forward on my dad, and he was like, he sat his ass back down in the car. He slammed the door. Boom! The goddamn speaker fell on the floor. He put his arm up, and he was like grumbling to himself, rocking back and forth. My brother was looking, and now remember, I'm like 6 or 7. I said, "No popcorn." And my brother nudged me. My brother's 5 years older than me.
Man.
He nudged me like, "Shut up." Oh.
Listen, I'm about as subdued as I could be right now. But that shit is so funny, man. It's got my stomach hurting, man. My stomach is getting cramped because I'm laughing because my father would have the same damn reaction, bro. I don't know your dad and I've never seen him, but I only see my own dad. You know what I'm saying? Through that whole situation, which is why it's so hilarious to me because I could actually see my dad doing the same thing, bro.
Oh my God.
Especially that part when you said he sat there and threw his arm back and was just rumbling to himself and grumbling. Man, you better not have said anything because you would have died that night. You know what I mean?
Oh, my brother elbowed the shit out of me. Shut up. I just sat down and I was like, "No popcorn."
No popcorn? Shell was like, "Shut up."
I don't even think he enjoyed the movie.
So, hey, man, but you see, that's what makes this show great. To be able to pull those stories, that's totally organic. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like straight off the cuff, man. I mean, I'm still sitting here with tears in my eyes, laughing at that situation because it's so relatable. And I'm sure we got brothers and sisters out there in the audience who could totally relate to that as well. Because it's like, come on, man, you got to be of a certain age demographic.
Yeah.
For that to have meant something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was shows like that, man. It's like I couldn't help but to think of that when we were coming up on this, 100th episode, and I was like to revisit certain things. Like one of our biggest, one of the biggest things that we did was when we talked about Chuck Norris. It's like when we broke Chuck Norris's film career down into 3 different categories. We had the karate man, then we had the action guy and the cop, and then we had the other guy, the mission in action dude. And it's like, and we did that, dude. It was like people like Chuck Norris, even still. It's like those were some of the highest viewed shows that we had ever done. But that was great. And then there's one that we did that I thought that was pretty cool. I want to see if I can pull this one up here. This was an earlier episode where we talked about the toys, and that was a lot of fun because we got into, toys from our childhood. That was a great episode, and that was episode number 15.
You still listening to it?
Yeah. Or when your tape get jammed up in it. You be like, "Oh man, I just bought that tape." It's like,
man. I was listening to, I remember when that happened to me. I was listening to you know what I was listening to? I was listening to Come Function, and I had it on the tape. Function, yep. One night.
I remember I was in 7th grade, and our teacher, Miss McCord, Deborah McCord, and one of the brothers was sitting in the class, and he had his headset on.
Oh man!
And she took it from him, and it was playing loud. You know, you could hear it. You know, he had it all the way up. So we were just wondering when she was gonna. She looked up. She was looking around, and she looked over at him, and she called him up to her desk, and he took them off and set them down and went up to her desk. She said, "No, bring those up here." And they were still playing. He was so stupid he didn't even turn the thing off. She said, no, don't turn it off. She said, bring it up here. She brought it up there. So she put it on her ears, right?
Oh!
And then she was listening to it, and she was like, "One nation under a roof." And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, that's the jam." You know, everybody was like, "Oh, one nation under a roof." Man, she had the class cracking up. I don't know if she was pretending like she didn't know what that was or whatever, but she took that boy headphones and he didn't get them back to the end of the semester, man.
Oh man, that's bad. Back when you can do things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, he got his brother in trouble, man.
These kids with music on the phones, I mean, things we take advantage of right now. I look at it and I'm like, man, these kids don't know the struggle we went through. If your batteries died when you was on a long trip, that was the end of the world, man. If your batteries died, oh man, Duracell must have made a killing off of everybody. They must have had their highest profits back in the 70s and 80s. My God.
For sure, man, because it was like, and almost everything ran on batteries, right? It was like, you needed them batteries, man. You remember the brothers who used to, like, I don't know about, because I know you're a few years younger than me, but I remember that the guys that were like a few years older than me, like we got Dr. Mark is out there. Salute to Dr. Mark. I see him out there in the chat. But guys that's like around his age, when I was a kid, they be walking through the hood with their boom boxes.
Boom boxes.
Yeah. And they kept packs of them big giant batteries on them because, you know, them boom boxes took like 6 to 8 of them batteries, and you could get an hour or two of play out of that thing. And if you were playing the tape, that was even less, you know. So it's like there used to be a brother named Prince that used to walk through our neighborhood. He carried that bad fella on his shoulder like this, man. You think you was laughing at Radio Raheem and Do the Right Thing, but that brother walked through our neighborhood, man. He was always playing that stuff, man. And he used to play what was the name of that song? I can't think of the name of it right now, but the melody is in my head. I think it was a Roy Ayers tune. He used to always play that sucker, man, just playing it over and over and over again. We're talking about circa 78, 79. Man, that dude used to walk through the neighborhood. And then there was brothers that had the big giant boom boxes that had the straps on them because they were so heavy. They didn't want to carry, so they put the strap around their shoulder and they be walking down the street.
Man, I'm in the Bronx. So you know, whenever someone carried those boom boxes, a breakdance battle could break out at any moment. Every time. Every time. And I remember there was a crew out here called Rocksteady. Yep. The Rocksteady crew was out here. And I forgot who the dudes they were always battling. But they would just be chilling on the opposite sides of the street. And soon, I don't even know this dude's name. He come out with this big old black boom box. Yup. Just carrying it like a weight.
Yeah.
They're like, there he go. They run across the street and they pull out the cardboard out their pockets and boom, they just start twirling in the middle of the damn block. It was, man, I miss the 80s, man.
Dude, thinking back on that, right? It was so popular. And I know we're talking about toys tonight, but this is just kind of like, we might have to do a show on it. But that whole thing about breaking and pop locking and all of that, it was amazing some of that stuff that them people could do. Man, I couldn't even dream of doing some of them moves that them
Now it's
brothers
in the
and sisters
Olympics.
was doing out there. That twirling on one hand on the wrist and everything, with your feet up, crossed up in the air and all of that, man. I was like,
I did it to an extent, but that head spinning and shit, nope.
I couldn't do it.
The line
Man.
right there.
I couldn't do it, man. But somebody was always trying to do that, you know.
Yeah. I was pretty good at that. I could suicide. I could do all of that, but that head spinning shit, no, I was too heavy.
Man, yeah, but it was so much fun, man. So much fun. Well, I'm gonna start it off with what you put up there for us to add in. Going back to talking about these toys, man.
All right, let me run this commercial. Y'all let me know if y'all remember this. This now is for real. Enter
That
attack.
stuff look real too.
Centerfire, automatic water weapon, batteries not included, with up to 30 feet of firing power. An extra clip for reloading, a shoulder strap for moving out. There's also the M16 rifle.
That's the one I wanted, the
sidekick pistol,
M16.
the RPG rocket water launcher, the AK centerfire.
Okay, centerfire. The feel, the sound, so real. Enter attack. One was so bad. Now,
Wasn't that something, man?
yeah, we're not gonna go in order. We're gonna
No.
go 80s.
We'll be all over the place.
We'll be all over the place. Now, let me share with the audience why
My mother would not let me get that.
when that
bro.
commercial came out, I'll never forget it. See, can we talk about Saturday mornings? Saturday mornings, Saturdays were instrumental. Okay, Saturdays
You're
obviously
gonna have
was
the
your day
rocket launcher, damn it.
because school was like the worst thing in the world.
Oh, let me before you go further, let me drop this because it goes on about the Saturday mornings. For anyone out there that has Disney Plus, they have uploaded all of the old Schoolhouse Rocks.
Yo,
All of them. And it's a whole bunch of them, some that I even forgot
I'm
about.
only your bill.
I'm only your bill.
I just said, if you go on Disney Plus, the old Schoolhouse Rock cartoons are up there. Verb, all of them. So if you love those joints and want to revisit them on Disney Plus, they got them on there. They on there. And I just discovered this like a week ago.
Beautiful. Yeah, man, I'm gonna go check.
And that's
all of
great
them
for
out.
your kids. You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
oh hell yeah,
they don't even teach that stuff anymore. The Constitution and all of that,
Nah, they don't.
conjunctions and all of that. Man, boy, now you see, even getting into that kind of stuff like that, and we could go back and relate to like what they don't even teach anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
we're doing some special stuff here, man.
Absolutely, man.
Really doing some special stuff.
They don't even do Saturday morning cartoons no more. You know what was crazy? Saturday morning cartoons, in between the cartoons, there was a lot of education, like Schoolhouse Rocks.
Absolutely.
I remember, you probably remember this. They had something on NBC in between the commercials. It was called One to Grow On. And the host was always one of the guys from that came on primetime TV. David Hasselhoff as Michael Knight was on a couple of those, and stuff like that. One to Grow On.
And there was something else about putting the content to melodies and everything that made it easier to learn and memorize. See, that's different from pulling out that device and scanning and everything, because you're not really retaining anything.
Right.
But we absorbed that, and we'd be outside playing, singing the Saturday morning Schoolhouse Rock songs. I'm just a bill, we would sing that stuff. And and if you like got a group of friends, one of you will start singing it, and then everybody chime in and start singing, right? It's like, that's what was so cool about that experience, man. It was really something. And
what was your favorite Saturday morning cereal? Did you have one?
You know what? I was so basic with my cereal, man. You know what I loved? Dude, I love those doggone sugar frosted flakes, man. Tony the Tiger sugar frosted flakes. That was my cereal, man.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I liked that cereal. I really did, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And some of the others that they would come up with, like one that I would switch to from time to time because it was so sweet and everything, but it wasn't like it is today because today they put so many chemicals in the food and cereal. But back then when I was a kid, that Captain Crunch peanut butter flavor cereal, man, that was off the woo. Captain Crunch peanut butter cereal was really good when I was a kid coming up, bro.
See, look at the chat. You see? And I can tell some of y'all age. Cinnamon Toast Crunch came out later for me. I think when Toast Crunch came out, I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But Cinnamon Toast Crunch, again, that's one of those things I had to get, like, I can't eat this no more. But Apple Jacks was a close run up. But you know what I did like? Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Dude,
with nice cold milk.
Yep.
Some nice cold milk. Oh.
And then when you eat all the cereal, you drink the milk and the milk be sweet from the Frosted Flakes.
My brother loved Cocoa Puffs. He loves chocolate. He loves chocolate. So he liked the Cocoa Puffs. But I was like, there was nothing better than a bowl of Frosted Flakes with some cold milk back when I wasn't lactose intolerant. If I have real milk right now in my house, I'd lead to a divorce. I have to go sleep on the balcony. But there was nothing better than some Frosted Flakes or some cornflakes with a little sugar in it with some cold.
That was a good substitute, you know.
Yeah.
But the Frosted Flakes was it for me.
Yeah.
And you remember the Rice Krispies, man? And it's like,
you had to eat those fast though.
But snack, crackle, and pop. Remember the TV commercial? Because when you pour that milk over the Rice Krispies, you will hear it.
Yeah, you hear it. Yeah. But it was nothing better than the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes with some cold whole milk while watching Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That was my mornings right there. Oh man, I miss it. Jamal says born in 81. Yeah, yep. But you remember all of that stuff. Fruit Loops was good. Golden Grams was I had to be in the mood for Golden Grams, but Golden Grams wasn't bad. Corn Puffs, really good.
Fruity Pebbles.
Yep. There's one more I'm forgetting. Damn. I wasn't really a Lucky Charms person. I didn't really like those too hot. Honey Crisp.
I didn't like Lucky Charms either.
What was it? Sugar with the bear, Sugar Snaps. What was it called?
Sugar Smacks.
Sugar Smacks, yeah, with the bear, yeah. Corn Puffs. They used to be the mascot used to be a porcupine. I remember that. The Corn Puffs, you had to eat those fast too. You know why I didn't really, Sugar Smacks? You know what they look like? I mean, really think about what I'm about to say, and I'm not even going to say it. But what does Sugar Smacks look like? Hold one up and just look at it. What does it look like? It was all bad.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah, right. This one right here, when we talked about the original summer blockbuster, that was Jaws. Man, that was a good show too.
Yeah.
The 70s, made by Ford Motor Company, but that was about the size of this shark. And if you look at the theatrical poster, you could see him coming up from the depths, going after that woman swimming. But let me tell you something. I had never read the book. I was a little kid at the time. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
But the poster suggests the threat is the shark coming after a swimmer. But little did I realize when I watched the film what I was about to see. And I have to tell you, it forever made an impression on me. Some people, it made an impression on that they wouldn't go in the water anymore. Some people, they stayed out of the water for about a decade, if not more. Yep. And that was the impact. Across America. It was
That
ridiculous.
movie really had people scared to go into the
You
ocean.
could not
It really did, man.
go swimming.
Beaches
anymore.
were almost
People
dead,
use
you know?
summertime come around. Oh, the beaches are open. People go swimming and everything. Dude,
Did you ever look up the
And
Jaws
ladies.
ride at Universal Studios?
people
I
were
did look
talking
it up,
about
yeah.
what if there's a shark
That was an event. They changed
even
it to
in the
Jurassic
waters
Park
where,
now.
you know, I live in Chicago, so it's like we got Lake Michigan here, right? It might be some nasty stuff in the waters, but it ain't no Jaws out there. But people weren't going, man. The beaches were full of people laying out under sun umbrellas and everything, drinking out of their coolers, but they wasn't getting in the water. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Stormy, did we do B movies?
Just a little
We
bit
did
of a
not do
bio
B movies yet.
on this film.
gotta
Jaws
do
is
that.
a 1975 American thriller film directed by Steven Spielberg, based on the 1974 novel by Peter Benchley. It stars Roy Scheider as a police chief, Martin Brody, who, with the help of a marine biologist, Richard Dreyfuss, and a professional shark hunter, played by Robert Shaw, hunts a man-eating great white shark that attacks beachgoers at a summer resort town. Murray Hamilton plays the mayor and Lorraine Gray portrays Brody's wife. The screenplay is credited to Benchley, who wrote the first drafts, and co-writer Carl Gottlieb, who rewrote the script during principal photography. Shot mostly on location in Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts, Jaws was the first major motion picture to be shot on the ocean, and subsequently had a troubled production with issues going over budget and schedule. As the art department's mechanical sharks often malfunction, Spielberg decided mostly to suggest the shark's presence, employing an ominous and minimalist theme created by composer John Williams to indicate its impending appearances. Spielberg and others have compared this suggestive approach to that of director Alfred Hitchcock. Universal Pictures' release of the film to over 450 screens was an exceptionally wide release for a major studio picture at the time, and it was accompanied by an extensive marketing campaign that heavily emphasized television spots and tie-in merchandise. And that is so true. I could remember the TV commercials for Jaws being one of the most played film advertisements ever. You always, it's like after everything, the Jaws commercial was on TV. And that's what scared the devil out of American people, because it was in your home, you know, that you would see this.
You know, that movie was the first summer blockbuster. And it was amazing, man, what it did. And it spawned 3 sequels and a lot of copycats. But there was nothing like that first summer of 1975, 1976 when it came out. Dude, I could remember it like yesterday. They used to sell replicas of the shark in the store, you know, like in the toy section. You know how where they have the little army men and little dinosaurs and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
They would have those sharks from the movie Jaws. And I remember I had got one, and I used to just, play around with the thing. I was a kid. It was like that movie was very impactful on culture, though. And from that point going forward, every summer, Hollywood was looking to release a film that can impact culture similarly each summer out. And Star Wars was born out of that.
There you go. Uh-huh.
Because it came just a couple of summers later, but it was really a fun time, man. And I think that the fact that the mechanical sharks that they built for the film weren't working very well, so they resorted to, like I narrated in there, to using just that fin in the water.
Yeah,
it would pop up and you would see it, and that theme music would be playing.
Yeah.
The fact that you don't get to see the whole beast was enthralling, because your mind, and that was what they were saying about Hitchcock. Hitchcock was a great director of thriller, because he would present a scenario and the dangers of it and everything, but he wouldn't show you anything gratuitous. It was always what was left to your imagination, what happens. And and
that's the horror behind it. That's the horror.
Yeah, because what I think in my mind and what you think in yours could be two different things, even though we're sitting there watching the same movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like that's what was so great. See, now everything is so gratuitous that they just show you everything. That's why the audience's senses get dulled to things, because there's no imagination.
Right. And that's why in the mid 2000s, when they came out with that movie, The Blair Witch Project, it was what we call throwback. For me, it was throwback, because throwback horror was when things were left to the imagination. When you're trying to figure things out. Things are way too vulgar right now, and to a point where we become desensitized to what we see, even the kids.
Did you have audiences where you live getting sick over the movie Blair Witch Project because of the shaky cam?
Yeah.
See, that's mental.
It's mental.
There's no reason for you to get nauseous and stuff like that, but when you do, it's because we receive information differently.
Well, let me say this. When that happened, the reason why the movie scared a bunch of people that was like my mother's age or whatever, because she said they don't do horror like this anymore. It's just vulgar horror. You know what I mean? But a lot of that, it was filmed from a palm quarter, and the budget was low, and it was left to the imagination. And when how it ended, it was still left to the imagination. You really don't know what happened. And people in the audience was like, "Yo, that was pretty like scary." You know what I mean? So that was like throwback, like horror right there. That's why that movie did so well. The sequel didn't do as well because, bigger budget, things of that nature. The storyline, I understood it. It was pretty cool, but nothing beats the first Blair Witch Project. It was pretty good. I got another idea.
One specific scene from the movie Jaws. When Roy Scheider was sitting there tossing dead fish, like feeding the shark, trying to get him to come, and he was tossing it over there off the side of the boat, sitting there, and then the shark came up out of the water like that, and he almost swallowed his cigarette. Remember, he was like, he turned around and told old boy Robert Shaw driving the boat. He was like, "I think we need a bigger boat." But there was a great overhead shot when they were in the water out on the ocean, and the shark swam on the side of their boat, and you could see it from like an overhead camera view, and you saw how big he was.
Yeah,
dude, that was like really intense, man. That was how big that shark was. Yeah, but what were you getting ready to say? You got another idea?
Another idea for the show. Because when you brought up summer blockbusters, I want to talk about movie and television theme songs that when you hear them, you already know what it is.
Yeah.
You mentioned Jaws. When you think of Jaws, automatically you think of the dun, 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 dun. When you think of Star Wars, same thing.
Yep.
Christopher Reeve Superman. I hear it in my head. You know, and it's a bunch of that. TV shows, a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Knight Riders, Sopranos, yeah. Woo.
Yeah, I
That's
put
gonna be a
it
fun show.
down. So it got that discos to clubs and movies and TV theme songs. Yeah, I put that down there. There was another episode that I wanted to share here where we talked and had a great conversation over blaxploitation and what it means. You remember that show? That was number 3.
Blaxploit, bro. Superfly.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I gotta double check something. Yeah, that blaxploitation, man.
Blaxploitation, man. That was a fun show too.
You know what? That was one of those that I got flagged for.
Oh, you had to mute it?
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was a good one though, because we talked about being able to go to the theaters and see films that represented us on the screen a lot. And films like Superfly, Shaft, you know, what was Melvin Van Peebles' film, Sweetback's Badass Song, you know, all of those kind of films like that. Dude, great stuff, man. Great stuff.
Yo, that damn movie in the intro, it was pretty rough looking back at it, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you look at it now, you're like, oh God. Damn, that was pretty rough. Yikes. Yeah, but blaxploitation, man, that was an error, man. That was an error. My parents hated Superfly because he came off the heels of Shaft. And my parents always felt that Shaft was a positive role model, you know, black cop or whatever, and then enter Superfly, and now we're singing the praises of a pimp. You know, it was, yeah, they hated that, man. They really hated that, but ain't that something?
Now here is one that we did around that time as well that was more clean, that we talked about. This one was franchises and why we love them. This was a great show. I remember us talking because we went all through different types of franchise shows. Let me guess. This is Your Home Planet. And he stepped his foot up like on a rock and leaned on his knee like this.
Yeah.
And looked like this and said, yeah, it was. I was like, dude, he looks so real. He looked like a real being, you know? They totally talking about Infinity War of it and everything. I was like, look at this. Now, years earlier in the first Avengers film, when he appeared in the post credits, I never had any idea how they were going to, you know, make him look, because they just showed that facial shot, you know, real quick and everything. But by the time they got through making those other 22 films, the technology had caught up to the point where
Yes.
they were ready to do it. And boy, they went balls to the wall. That was some awesome stuff, man.
Man,
Some
iconic
awesome
stuff. I remember the day after the movie came out, my boy sent me a meme.
Cadillac
And I'm
Red,
just
what's
smiling.
good with you?
And the meme said, "Y'all all right?" with a question mark. I was crying. That shit was funny. He's smiling. It said, "Y'all all right?"
Oh man.
But when you mention franchises, it also goes beyond the character in the franchise. It also goes towards the actual actor. You look forward to the actor starring in another film. Harrison Ford went beyond Star Wars, became Indiana Jones. Then he was in a bunch of movies. He became an action star throughout the 80s and 90s.
Sure did.
The Bruce Lee movies.
Air Force One.
You know,
yeah,
the Bruce Lee movies. It was like, what is he going to do next? And speaking of which, Emotions in theaters. See, I was Enter the Dragon came out in '73. All right,
Yeah.
I wasn't born. My dad went to go see that in the theater with my mother, and of course, lived in a black neighborhood. They went to go see the damn film, and of course, the scene with Jim Kelly
Yep.
got killed by Mr. Han.
yeah.
Man, my father was like, we was in the theater like, oh, come on. Why the brother always got to catch it, man? And then, you know, John Saxon's character saw him hanging and he drops in the fucking, my father said, man, I was so, because my dad, you know, Jim Kelly looked like every black man walking the street in the
Sure
city
did.
in America. Mean looking with an afro. I'm pro-black. You know, Jim Kelly was that guy. And Mr. Han beat him with a goddamn, he was cheating with a goddamn iron hand.
Iron Hand, yeah.
Yep.
And
Because I was
beat him
like,
to
if
death.
he had used that iron hand against Bruce, he would have had Bruce messed up too. Because Bruce, all those places he was cut was places Han could have punched him with the
Right.
iron hand. You know?
Man, and my pops was like, you know, I saw that scene, like I saw the movie, but when I got older and I go back and look at that scene, I said, yeah, I know why they were pissed. I said, man, but years later, Jim Kelly said, he said, look, it was a literally like they had a conversation. He said, John had starred in more films than I did. So they
That's what
were
he
trying to
said.
decide which character to kill off.
Right.
Which character to kill off. And he said John was more accomplished than I was at the time. So, you know, I caught it. You know, so I was like, damn, he said it could have, Bruce was fair about it. That's what he said. He said, one of the characters going to get killed off. So, you know, it could have easily been John Saxon's character.
Yeah.
But
Right.
he said he was more accomplished than I was at the time. So, you know, then he went on to do the Black Belt Jones films, and you know, he was in 3 the Hard Way, wasn't he?
Yeah, 3 the Hard Way, Black Samurai.
Black Samurai.
He was also in 1 Down, 2 to Go. That was
1
the
Down, 2 to
sequel to
Go.
3 the Hard Way. Hot Potato.
Hot
Yep.
potato.
He did one called The Kill Factor.
Kill
He
Factor.
was
I
in-
remember that.
Yeah, he was in a lot of films. Golden Needles. Jim Kelly, the funny thing about it was he was about as good as actor as any of the other guys around at that time. But what was nice is that he was athletic and he knew martial arts, and you know, but they just were not trying to feature him that way. They
FTB,
actually
what's
went
good
a
with you,
different
bro?
Direction and looked at Chuck Norris, which was like, you know, Jim Kelly was really pissed off about that because he was like, man, he talked. I remember reading in one of my my martial art magazines, and there was a huge article on Jim Kelly, and he talked about the guy that we knew to become Bruce Lee in the films over in Hong
Oh
Kong.
man, that's
He
bad.
said Bruce Lee has 100 times better karate than Chuck Norris. He was like, but you could see the establishment wanted to hire a blonde-haired, you know, blue-eyed guy, and he's like, you know, Chuck Norris was always smiling and grinning and stuff like that, and they tried to make him a star off of that. But
Yeah.
Jim Kelly, you know, he went over there and he played in a couple of Hong Kong films, you know, like the Tattoo Connection, and then there
Tattoo
was
Connection.
one more. I can't think of the name of it.
He's in that movie with Bolo. That was Tattoo Connection, wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah, the Tattoo Connection. Bolo and Chen Sing were in
Insane,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and he held his own in those films. Then later, shortly after that, Ron Van Cleef came
Ron
along.
Van Cleef.
And
Yo,
you know,
he had the illest kill scene at the end of that film when he spun dude's head completely.
dude, my dad. Now, now, Drew, you know, once we talked about that, we had to incorporate that into the show, right?
Yes, sir.
Do that, man. Dude, that was such a fun thing there. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yep.
Ron Van Cleef. That was the craziest kill scene like ever. Y'all.
Look here, man. That right there makes the show right there.
No.
This is why we do what we do.
I can't, bro.
Oh,
Bro. Yo, I would love to. Yeah, I ain't gonna say it out loud, bro. When you catch someone like that, oh my gosh, man, is that even possible? Oh my gosh,
dude. That's what it, and you know, we talked about that on this show, and that's where that meme was born. I had to have Drew dig that up for me, you guys. I was like, once we start talking about that, I could not go forward without having that on this show, man.
yo,
That was awesome. That was awesome.
I first saw that, I was with my brother. Yo, my brother jumped up and ran through the house screaming. That was so funny. Oh my God. Because we saw it on VHS, man. He kept rewinding it. Oh, it was funny as hell, man. That will never not be funny.
He turned that dude head 360 and gave him a total new perspective.
He saw everything behind him. He saw everything behind him like, yo, what's...
Hey, he
Straight
gave a
owl,
new
man.
meaning. He gave a new meaning to watch your six. You know what I'm saying?
Yo. Oh, shoot.
Man.
That's funny.
But hey, man, we do this show for you guys and for us, because don't leave us out. We enjoy the hell out of this. And again, we only revisited a couple of episodes in the short time because it's been 100 shows, y'all.
Don't even feel like it.
100 shows. But once we get to talking about it, I remember everything, don't you? It's like it comes back just like that. It's like familiar territory.
It's natural because we lived it. And it's man. And we got more shows, man. We got part 2s coming up.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. This is, if you haven't lived life, you can't talk about this stuff. And I look at this generation today, I'm like, I wonder what memories they're gonna have. Who knows, man? You know, man.
And look at we go back. You're in your 40s, I'm in my 50s. We go back those many years over things that we can enjoy. These young folks of today don't even allow themselves to enjoy anything. They'll do something, and it could even be something good, but they'll just go on to something else before they even allow themselves to get attached.
That's right. That's right.
That's why there's no feeling behind anything. That's like making music. Do you know that there are very few bands anymore? Any groups that put together and go in there and write real songs? Everything is done on the computers or resampling stuff.
Watch this.
Taking sounds from different things and putting it together to make it seem like it's something new when it's just resourced from somewhere else.
Watch this. In one era, y'all. Talk about 70s and 80s. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Confunction. Frankie Beverly and Mace. Rest in power to Frankie Beverly. Tower of Power. Shout out to I said Tower of Power. Shout out to y'all know who's in Tower of Power, right? Y'all don't know? Yeah, think boxing for 1 second.
Parliament and Funkadelic. Look
These
here,
were
man.
bands.
The Brothers Johnson.
Brothers Johnson.
Man, I mean, it's like
you
Barry
remember the album
White.
cover, the Brothers Johnson? Were they high?
Probably the Ohio Player.
Ohio Players.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, we had some real good stuff going on, man. The Shy Lights, man. Speaking of the Shy Lights, did you like that meme I made of AJ when I
Yo. You know what's messed up? I was in the bed and I was about to go to sleep and I didn't have the sound off. And I pulled it up. I was like, yo, my wife, she was like, what the fuck is so funny at 3 a.m? Yeah, I was like, yo.
Do you know, out of my post that I put on the Instagram, it's like all of y'all commented on that one, man. 'Cause it's so funny.
That was funny. Word, shout out to Jeffrey Osborne and Billy Ocean.
Yeah, man.
Billy Ocean from the UK. Bet y'all didn't know that. Yeah, Reeve Victor Conti, the bass player at Tower Power. Ain't that crazy?
Yep.
My gosh, man. But we had bands, man. The songs meant something. Today, they're just vulgar.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Very vulgar.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Let's get some final thoughts on here so you could get ready for your pep talk.
Well, we're gonna turn around. We're gonna be at episode 200 of this, man. And it didn't even feel like it. You pulled up the third show. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, man. But when you do this and you live life, we can talk about anything. There's never, ever, we'll never run out of ideas for this show. You know what I'm saying? Because we had more of our heads to the ground. Technology has made people lazy. Y'all don't even go out, and I'm not saying y'all in particular, the young cats, y'all meet each other online. Y'all don't even go out and shake hands anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to, this is what this show is about, man. And we didn't even cover half the stuff that we spoken about. And I'm just telling y'all, we got more to come, man. We got more to come, man, because we got stuff written down. I just thought of 2 new show ideas.
Yep.
And this is great, man. As always, man. Thank you for having me on this show, man. As always, this is great, man.
Thank you for being a part of it with me, because just like, I think it was the brother Clarence McLean, he wrote out there in the chat, he said, well, you two guys, I just can't. It's like, because we play off of each other very well with the stories and the way that we are able to tap into the humor and everything. and it's all about fun. This is where we come to let our hair down, so to speak, and just have a good time, man. And that's what it's about, you know. And salute to the general who was out there early, you know. He said we be cooking on here, and it's true. It's great to have an outlet, you know. It's great to have an outlet.
Young DZ got I like that. Best shootouts in a movie.
Oh, yes. And one came to mind immediately because I think it's the best of all time. But yeah, I'm going to put that best shootouts.
Yep.
Thank you there for Young DZ.
Yeah, let me know you're ready for that because automatically a couple of them came to my mind. I know what number one is going to be.
Yeah.
I already know.
I think we already on the same page with that.
Yep. But yeah, that's going to be a damn good one. And salute to y'all, man, because y'all make the show too, man.
Absolutely. And for those of you that aren't aware, my monetization has been paused on my channel. So if you want to donate to the channel, you could always hit my Cash App or my PayPal. I'm working on setting up a Venmo, but that's one way that you can support on there by hitting up one or two of those. And the links for them are in the description box on all the videos and all of the live streams. So just know that. But the merchandise is still there, still available. You can order stuff. I was helping someone order something just a few hours ago earlier today. So just know that that's still available for you. And salute to Drew. He's actually sporting one of the Stormybman tees this evening. And
Yes,
how does it wear, bro? How do you like it?
Man, listen, I get extra attention in the gym when I wear it. He said, you Stormy B, man? I said, nah, here in Chicago. Chicago. Yeah. You want to go to
Listen,
Chicago?
you know what's funny? Today and over the weekend, because it's been a little cooler, I got my hoodie on, right? And yesterday I went to the store. I had my hat on and the hoodie, right? I go and I see a couple of people looking at me, but they didn't say nothing. I know what that meant.
Yeah,
like, oh, damn, that's him right there. It's me.
You know it.
Yep. They straight up was looking, bro. Looking at the shirt and looking at the hat. Now you know you could wear a shirt and a hat, right? It's like, yeah. But why were they looking at it like they was looking at it? They was like, damn, that's him.
In real life.
It's me.
Real life.
And as you say all the time, I ain't no small fry when they see him in front of their eye.
Yeah, second thinking. But great, man. I'm gonna run over the pep talk.
Yeah. And for those of you who want to take that positive energy from this show on over there, follow Drew over to the pep talk where he gonna get ready for that in just a few minutes. And we thank everybody that came out here this evening. Appreciate you, Drew. Have a good show, man.
Absolutely.
And I'll wrap this up, man. I'll wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But yeah, great show. Appreciate everybody that came out. But just a word from our sponsor, the Focus Ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ.
Sorry about that. Got to get my man a Focus Ball his just due on here. This StreamYard kind of goofing me up a little bit here. Oh boy. That happens. Technical difficulty.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a focus ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a focus ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a focus ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a focus ball. When you train with the focus ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the focus ball now.
Yeah, it's been another dynamite show, you guys. Our 100th episode of Nerds on Culture. We appreciate everybody that has contributed the ideas for future shows. We wrote them down, some of the suggestions. Some of them that you've made, we've already had in our queue, just lined up and ready to go. We have over 40-something shows planned. Some we've done already, but we're still brainstorming ideas. So we do accept the suggestions from some of you that come up with some really earnest topics. So just bear in mind that you may see one of your suggestions coming up very soon. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and just know that we're here and we ain't going nowhere. We're going to be right back with another one next Monday. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace and enjoy the rest of your week.
Bye.